With respect to some of the projects you have going at the property, can you tell me how Campbell improved the process, improved the end result with the project?
I can do by comparison. We have a parking lot renovation, and it's a big parking lot. Plus, it's never been really renovated. It's just added layers of blacktop to it. So how do you find a contractor? We went to Campbell. We found 3 of the best engineers around. We interviewed them, selected one. That engineer knows that Campbell's recommendation is important. Then electricians now, we're in the process of doing that. And with our manager, a construction manager, having someone who works there as the construction manager, that's a big plus. So we were able to find the best contractors, the best processes and contracts to get contractors, and also how to evaluate them. That's stuff that people, if you didn't have someone who worked there that knew how to do that, or lived there that knew how to do that, it didn't happen. Now it's just part of the plan. It just falls in place. And accountability is critical on these construction projects. And I feel pretty secure that once we know what things cost, and once our people vote on what they want to do, it'll get done at that cost.
Excellent. Nick?
Well, for us, we had a couple of interesting issues. One, we had an upper parking deck that leaked at an expansion joint since it was finished in 2013. And previous boards actually underneath the leak put gutter like you would use on a house. Because
I see both these gentlemen nodding as you're telling me.
So that was the solution, and so the contractor basically was past the point of any liability, and so our general manager helped us greatly by basically working with a construction defects lawyer that we retained to create enough smoke to get the contractor back to repair. So we worked out a deal. We would have been unable to do that without our general manager. We've successfully finished a concrete restoration, which is an ongoing thing that the Campbell folks had managed. The process was great because we interviewed a couple of engineers before the project to find who was going to be the owner's representative. Then we interviewed 5 companies for the actual construction work. And so that job was run beautifully. And I mentioned earlier, we replaced an HVAC system that was put in right after Lincoln was assassinated. And that really should have been done years and years ago. And it eventually collapsed 2 Julys ago, the hottest time of the year. So
right about the time Campbell's coming in.
Yeah, exactly. And certainly no fault of theirs, because it should have been done 10 years before they arrived. But it collapsed basically as our new general manager arrived, and he basically, through this chaos and all of this, was this calm, reassuring voice of how we're going to fix this, and kept our contractors oriented, kept our residents informed. And so those are really dramatic things to achieve, and particularly for an audience, a residential audience, many of whom were happy about the deferrals until it impacted them directly, and then can you fix it today? So it's just a world difference. The other thing I would, in closing, we never had preventative maintenance. So we used to have the pool heater. Every once in a while you'd get a message that the pool heater burned out, and so then everybody was up in arms. My God, you can't use the pool, it's 80 degrees or whatever. And so there was no preventative maintenance. So it would just basically run till it burnt out, and then
reacting.
They would go get another pump. So with Campbell now, we actually have a pool company that actually does maintenance. We have all of the maintenance. It's all digitalized. We have all of our preventive maintenance agreements that are all digitally maintained. They're all well managed, and they're all looked after, so that people taking care of the air conditioning and the units and the windows and this and that all have a regime in which they report. Never occurred before. Never happened before.
That's awesome. Doc?
Well, I can go and just say this. We're doing a roof. That's our only project, which Campbell's going to help us with. However, before Campbell and the previous board did a $5.5 million concrete restoration project that they did themselves, picked the people. We're now involved in litigation, which will go on I don't even know how long. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. And so that would not have happened had we had Campbell. I know that.
Right.
I know it for a fact.